you know, this isn't at all what I requested or what was agreed upon 2 meetings ago. You know, and then I received this packet today, and all it is, it's a bunch of correspondence and emails going back and forth. And I know, Selectman Campbell, you wanted to have this aired out in public forum, and you know, I think that it would be foolish to do that. I think the reason we agreed upon getting the 2 parties together was to resolve this matter. And from reading what I assume this is what we were going to present, this is from Attorney Clendenin. We're just going to further the spectacle that's been going on at these meetings. You know, yeah, I got these this afternoon, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't read through all of them. I just had time to kind of browse through them, and yeah, I mean, what's in there? I mean, back and forth, back and forth. Yeah, you'll get Mr. Cook's. He can be, I guess, difficult at times. But you know what? Going through these emails, there's town employees who are tired of this. They want to see an end of this. So, you know, I think for the interest of the town, I think we should remove this from the agenda. This is not what we agreed upon a month ago. And just further work on resolving this matter between the attorneys. And all I, you know, was trying that a month ago was suggest, which I know the first selectman, you agreed, and was put an end to it. And Selectman Campbell seems to want to have this aired out in public to, I don't know, he made a comment to clear the town of this stigma of reneging. It's nothing to do with that. We're not here to play, oh, this is what our position, or this is the Cook's position. We're here just to make sure this thing gets done and resolve this matter. So from what I see is going to happen next meeting, I don't think it would suit the interest of the town to go forward in this manner. So I'd ask for your support to remove this off the agenda.
I agree with you, Jamie. I didn't ask to put it on there. So I mean, I certainly agree with you.
The only comment I wanted to make is that my understanding of Connecticut law is that the suggestion that you made, Jamie, a couple of meetings ago is actually illegal under the Freedom of Information Act. Given the legal status of the town of Branford with the person in particular who evidently was requesting a meeting. So to avoid the appearance of being improper here, I think that it's very dangerous to go into an executive session unless we're actually allowed to discuss tax bills that, quite frankly, are a public record, and that, in fact, incorporate every other taxpayer in the town of Branford, because the nature of the discussion is exemptions from the tax. Now, because we've been receiving so much correspondence, and I'm not responding to correspondence per se, but false statements have been made presumably as a basis for a negotiation, which is the way that I interpret your request, Jamie. And I'm not sure that a negotiation is warranted, and given the amount of the level of disinformation as I perceive it, I thought it was a completely improper basis to even consider going into executive session, even if it were legal. And so I didn't ask for this to be put on the agenda. We have business to get to. But if the town is going to be, and it's been right here, and I got lots of correspondence here that characterizes the town in a certain way on a specific issue, and if that's just not true, then I reject the notion that the town is in some way continuing this matter, because, quite frankly, I didn't ask for this to be put on the agenda. But if it is to be on the agenda, I believe that it should be done pursuant to state law. And that was my only objection to, and I didn't even voice the objection, but it was presumed that I objected to executive session for some reason. It is my reading of Connecticut General Statutes 1-200 subsection 6, which is executive session. And I did share that opinion with town council, and town council didn't disagree with me on that. So I didn't ask for this to be put on a call, but if it's going to be dealt with, we're going to deal with it pursuant to state law, and that's as far as that's my position.
You know, back up a second. We're not going in there to negotiate. A settlement has already been agreed upon. My request was just some format to facilitate this settlement being finalized, being reached. So there seems to be this back and forth. So, and to say you didn't request it, I don't know, 2 meetings ago you said you were asking for this. Last meeting, you stated that you had concerns over FOI, but you want this in the public, you want this format and to happen to appear. But what you're asking is, and I'm not trying to insult you, but it's foolish to do this. You're just going to continue the circus that the people are tired of. This isn't, kind of forming a battleground here and have the two sides go back and forth, lobbing bombs. Who's at fault? This is a request to try to end this, and First Selectman agrees, right? I mean, you'd like to see an end to it, and I don't see how having this open forum to go back and forth and discuss correspondence going back and forth is going to get us any closer to having ended this. I can see how it'll possibly continue on what you're proposing rules to prevent happening. So, like I said, I'm just asking for support to take it off the agenda. If you want to leave it on, then we'll deal with it in 2 weeks.
Okay, we'll talk about John.
Yeah, thank you. Not surprisingly, I couldn't agree with Selectman Cosgrove more. It was never asked to have a meeting of the Board of Selectmen. The way we understood it and agreed on it last meeting was that this has all been decided. There's some paperwork that may be missing or may not be missing, and the forms, whatever, need to be filled out to the satisfaction of the assessor. That doesn't require the Board of Selectmen. There's no requirement to have a public meeting, an executive session, nothing. This is just finalizing, matching up what the assessor wants versus what's been supplied and sorting that out. It's a done deal after that. There's no discussion, there's no negotiation, you're not deciding on property values. That's not been part of this equation. So I don't know how it got on the call if none of you actually put it on, but I agree with Selectman Cosgrove. Get it off the call, take the advantage of this 2 weeks between now and the next meeting, have the Cook attorney and the town attorney and the assessor and any other person that would be interested. I will gladly be there. One of you could be there. Selectman Walsh agreed he would be there. It doesn't matter who's there. This isn't a public meeting, this is a work session. And you can resolve it. Look around. You guys passed regulations tonight to control the meeting. This has been a fine meeting. Why? Because the element isn't there. The problem's not there. Make the problem go away by fixing it. Resolve it. And then you're done. You're back to civil meetings. And I mean, the meetings have been stressful for everybody. The Board of Selectmen, the public. They want to see it stopped, and they don't really care whose fault it is. Just fix it, and we'll be done. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, John. I'd like to, go ahead, Jody. You have something?
Another.
Could I just say something?
Yeah.
I'm just a member of the general public. I'm not on the RTM or anything. I understood this as an opportunity perhaps to clear the air a bit. For the last year or so, I've read in the paper and I've heard people talking and I've heard the town called liars. I've heard the reputation of the town impugned. And I read the letters in the paper and I say, geez, a wrong has been done here. This is terrible. Because I never hear the other side. Frankly, I was hoping to clear the air a little bit and hear the other side, the reason why. We want it settled, but the trouble is, as I understand it, it has been settled, as Jamie said. And yet we have somebody coming here to meetings saying that it's not settled, that it's been reneged. So I would just be in favor of having this proposal and getting some information so that somebody like me isn't left in the dark. It makes me very uncomfortable.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Well, I'll say that it wasn't done, Bill, just as John has said, and it was done on February 3rd. That this project was over. All it was required is, I forget which one it is, an M8 or F8 number. And the state sent the thing back, saying that you can't make your own boxes. You have to check the box that we give you. That's all. Very simple. Very, very simple. Now, let me tell you, and this is to anybody out there, to have your taxes reduced from $2 million to $7,000, I think is an important jump. I think anybody out there will protect that and do everything they could to get that done. It's been done. All you got to do is sign the thing. And it's over with. Now, you know, I'm going to tell you this. If you want to take this off the table, I don't want to hear it again because April 12th is going to court anyway. So, on another parcel, so I just assume let them straighten it out. Where it should have been anyway, because anybody would rather have a court decision than a decision done politically. So, anyway, that's where it's going. If you're strong about taking it off, I could go along with that, but I'm telling you, we're not going to listen to it again. Okay,
I'll take my second time here. It's more than taking it off your agenda. It's all about resolving it. Because if you don't resolve it, the issue's going to come back to you next month again. And I'm tired of hearing it, frankly, and having to make these comments. So if you take it off the agenda, how about we have a meeting of some sort and between the attorneys and the assessor and resolve it. That's what I'd like to see. And then we wouldn't have to have this go on anymore. So.
Thank you, John.